Hello and welcome back to Bits and Bobs. Now, if you like hammered coins, don't go anywhere, because I've bought rather a lot of them. In fact, well, there's bundles of miscellaneous ones here. We've got lots of different priced up ones here. We've got this bag. Goodness me, there's loads of hammered coins in there. This one has the best stuff in. There's like Richard the First and sort of actual decent, good coins in here. Oh, goodness me. Right. So, lots of hammered coins to get through. Not all of them are identified, and not all of them I will be able to identify. So you can always impart your knowledge if you know more than I. But we'll work together. We can see what we've got. And yeah, just a nice sort of showcase and unboxing. Just a good fun video here of hammered coins. So, beginning with an Edward III penny. That is my handwriting, because I bought this one online and it did say what it was, so I wanted to remember it. I haven't got a, well, I don't know how to, I'll put these onto the side somewhere later. Anyway, we're in. Over a minute of rambling, we see our first coin. There it is, Edward the Third. So we've got the, does it say, I haven't got any more information. We've got the pellets in between those, which will indicate possibly not London. Maybe is it Canterbury or Durham for the mint? I do see a big L though there. And it would usually say civitas. Is that tas there? And it looks like London. Maybe it is London. Just a pellet issue, or are they annulets or pellets? Or I'm not. I forget the term. I apologise. Looks to be a cross like mint mark, or as far as we can intelligibly say, and we can see the wording there, Edward, and then the front-facing portrait with the crown. The crown and the hair is a big clue. Not that I've got it memorised, but with a little bit of research, looking at pictures and so on, you can tell through the crown, through the hair, and mainly, I believe the reverse, or the reverse, is the best way to tell what's what on a hammered coin. But there's the first one. We know that one. This one is easy to do. We all love a dated hammered coin. Makes our job a lot easier if trying to tell what they are. Although, the fun is in the research as well. This is a nice one. I did pay £30 for this. That one, that was a tenner actually, a good deal there. £10 for that on an eBay auction. Antique shop, £30 for this. But this one I bought because you don't often see the portrait of Elizabeth I very well. Usually the portraits are worn out. This side is nice, but it's not, a lot of others are nice, if you will. But this one I bought because of that portrait being sort of better than a lot of portraits that you will see. This will be a 3p, 3-penny piece, 1573. It's a lovely date, and a mint mark that I can't quite tell what it is. No, it can't be a star. It's not quite the right thing for a star. But a mint mark isn't as important as you have got a date and a denomination and a monarch. Elizabeth I, 1573, 3p. There we go. Right. Let's do. I might leave some of the mystery ones to the end, perhaps. Oh, that's the best of the day potentially, or this one. I don't know. Let's just grab this one on the screen. I'm not sure. They're all very nice. I usually try and save the best till last, but there's too many best ones. Here's a lovely one. I would have paid £4. You wish. £40, 50p. There was a 10% discount on this one. Henry III, long cross penny. Nicole of London, I believe that's short for, means. And Nicole is the moneyer, so the person that in charge of making them. But there we go. Is, by the way, so Henry III, long cross. Now all the long cross, oh no, it's long cross. Sorry, I apologise. I was going to say the short cross ones all say Henricus, but I would say is the three there, is that for Henry III? Because usually you don't see Henricus Rex 3. It must be Henry III, but usually on medieval, and even, well, a lot of them are the first, I guess, but you don't usually see the numbers till later on coins, is my point. But also what you don't see on coins of this age very much is such a good portrait. I'll leave it in the thing because it's all stapled together, but look at that. That is a lovely portrait of Henry III, who reigned for a very long time, 56 years, was it, I believe? 1216 to 1272. I think that's 56 years. A very long, huge reign, really, for the time. And yes, a lovely coin. Slightly off-struck. We can see a bit of extra metal sort of unused for the design. So I don't think it's been actually that much clipped because it's a bit off-struck. So very lightly or not at all clipped. very good condition. And if I look that good in 800 years, then I won't be complaining. There we go. Let's get into this little mini diddly what's it. A lot of these bags of random ones I bought from eBay, just for the fun of it, really, because they're often not that expensive. Right, let's go through. Anything that I don't know what it is, I want to put a number in the top of the screen. And if you want, I do ask only if you know, I will have to look into it myself. I can't expect you to do all the work. But if you do know what it is, there'll be a number in the top of the screen and you can comment, number 6 is a da 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 da, if you know it. I'll give my best guess as we go. That to me is a halfpenny of Henry VI as a guess, or Edward IV. That's my best guess. But it is really hard to tell. Well, try and zoom in a bit more. Even when we're zoomed in, though, it's hard to tell for these battered ones because a lot of the identifying, the legend and that is no longer. Right, let's put that safely. Don't want to lose this. I am outside today, so we need to make sure not to lose any of these. Here's one. So this is a York mint, it looks to be. But can we tell the monarch? Which way round does it even go? Ooh. Yeah, this one. Not. I'll put the number 2s there if you know that. It'll be very impressive. But yeah, not much to be gleamed off that one. We've got this one here. That looks, ooh, Elizabeth or Mary. In fact, can we read? Oh no. I would guess Elizabeth. Anything that we can tell from this side? This will be a 2p, no date, but a bit bigger than the penny. So this will be a Elizabethan or Mary 2p. The portrait, just about, you see it there, we're close on that one. Close to knowing, but at this point it's just a damaged Tudor 2p. Getting the monarch would be very nice to know, though. Final one for this bundle of rubbish or treasure, depending on how you look at it, is, ooh, I know, I thought it said Richard, but then I should know they don't say Richard. It says Henricvus. It could be a Richard, though. As I say, this will be a short cross. Yes, okay. People might know. Let me try and get a good shot of that. That is an intelligible word around the side there, potentially. Okay, do your best if you know, as I will have to try and do. And there's the portrait. Not very nice. That's either King Richard I, King Henry II, King John, or King Henry III. That might be the wrong, that's probably the wrong, I think that's the wrong order. But those 4 people, either of them, any of them, is this coin. But I'm not quite sure myself. We've got quite a good definition on the portrait. It's just a shame it's been cut and then damaged the sort of top of the crown there. But no, cool stuff. And like I say, the numbers are there for you to help with the research if you wish and can and know. And I will have to do my own digging. One thing I do know what it is this one. This is probably the best of the day. Well, yeah, I think, yeah, it is. It's my favourite of the day, at least. This is a penny. There we go, lovely stuff. But just wait, the best part is yet to come. This is the reverse side. It's Tudor, you may be able to tell. This is, in fact, Henry VIII, the notorious, the famous Henry VIII. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I will try to remember to take some photographs of some of the better ones. This is one of the better ones. And I'll try and get a close-up photograph that you see on screen now. But my goodness, what to say? What to say except, how recognizable is that? I think you could show that to like a school, if you brought that into like a school assembly or something like that, or you'd have to get it up on I don't know. The point is, everyone recognizes that, the classical you learn about in school, Henry VIII, the famous portrait. Every British citizen will know Henry VIII. There we go. But not, and I think they should, but not every British citizen will have a Henry VIII penny in such lovely condition, but thankfully, yours truly now does. Right, this one, we've got some help. Henry VIII, once again, York mint, groat with no mint mark. £78, 10% discount on that, so essentially £70. Pretty decent, a bit smudged on the reverse there. And then here's the portrait, not quite as nice. You see the beginnings, don't you? You can see, but the beard is sort of rubbed off. So it's very nice, but not quite as nice as that penny. A groat is, of course, 4p. But there we go. This was in an antique shop, £78 with 10% off. I thought, you know what? Let's go for it. I can show it on the video. I do need it, if you will. I don't have one for my collection. Right, let's do the small bag of miscellaneous. Then we'll do that Richard I, which is lovely. And then we'll end off with more of a challenge for us, for me and for you. What are the hammered coins? As we will do now, actually. Some of these are dubious. Oh, God. I've just missed the frame there. Well, they're down there. And goodness me. Right. We're not gonna know a lot of these. A lot of these are simply just scrappy fragments of hammered coins. You know, I've got no clue on that, just part of the legend of some old coin. That, tell you what, if you can identify that for me, I'll have the monarch and the denomination, then it's yours, if you correctly identify it. Free postage? No, that one's too far gone. There we go, a bit better, kind of. Probably a penny, one of the Edwards, you know, but yeah, not much to tell. Ooh. Again, not seeing much there other than a medieval penny. You know, it's just a bit of a shame because the reason that, you know, you pay very little for these in a bundle because excuse me, they're not very collectible really, because well, they are collectible. They're all pieces of history. These are good fun gifts. These are good fun things that I have quite a lot of these in our shop in Salisbury for £1, or you know, if you bought a few things, just have that for free. Just a little bit of a fun coin. There we go, London. That is a London mint. It looks like a halfpenny, medieval London halfpenny. I don't know the monarch though. Right, what have we got? This one is very darkened. That just doesn't film very well at all. That's just a bit of a odd one. There's a monarch. There's someone there. There we go. There's a face. Looking like Henry V, Edward IV era. Yeah, Tass. Don't know the mint. That's a halfpenny of 1400s-ish. But we can't tell the monarch. Just a cut quarter of some long, you know. And by the way, obviously they're all collectively fairly wrecked, but like the history is the same. The history arguably is even more. I mean, you know, how did this coin get to be this state? One day, there was a day in this nation's history when this was the newest coin. For a split second, as more being made, this is the brand new coin of the whole country. It was shiny, it was new, it was fresh, and it was spent for the first time by someone somewhere. And oops, now it's been chucked around on a Bits and Bobs video. So all good fun, all good history. There we go. Oh no, 3 more. I say 3 more. 1 2/4, quite literally, with a quarter there. And ooh, what is that? I see a face again. There we go. There's a face. I'm gonna guess again, Edward IV or something like that. I mean, Henry IV and Edward V are extremely rare coins, right? This could be one, maybe, but because you'll never know, you can never fully say, aha, yes, this is the rare Henry IV coinage. And for that reason, it's just not going to be worth much. And then finally, a bit of a better one, London Mint. Ooh, it was nice before I threw it around. Can we get a monarch? Obviously, it's an Edward. Cross like mint mark. There's the monarch. You know, you just guess Edward I, London Mint penny with that. Right. I believe it's very lightly beginning to rain. Oh dear. Oh gosh. Yeah, I can't see any rain around on just a bit on my viewing screen just here. Got a light smattering of raindrops. So let's hurry up. This is, by the way, Richard the First penny. So 1189 to 1199, 1100s. Richard the Lionheart. I mean, come on, we speak about history. Beat that for history. There it is, a lovely one. As I say, it says Henricovus because they all Richard and John also say Henry, as with Henry the First and Second, for that short cross coinage. There he is. Look at those eyes. Look at that. What a portrait that is. Obviously, it's not. These medieval early portraits are rather unflattering, really. And add a bit of wear, well, add 900 years of history to that, and you get quite a weird-looking guy. But there we go. And there's the short cross to the reverse. I'm not very good at the legends, really, for these, other than the slightly later ones of the old Civitas and then the place, the city. But there we go. That's just a lovely coin. I do have a Richard I, Richard the Lionheart, and mine. Oh, sorry, and mine is actually better than that. That we want to sell on. How much did I pay? Is a good question. I think it was 40, 50. That one, I think it's fair to say, to let you know. When I watch videos of coin unboxings on myself, I always like to know the price. So I do always try to say the price what I pay. Not because, I'm trying to say, oh, look at these deals. Sometimes I am. When I get a deal, you've got to share it. But I think it's just quite interesting to know what people are paying. So I will get this long-winded me saying, as you will have seen by now, on screen was the price for that Richard. Right, the question is now, can we get through all these in before the rain returns, if it does? It's going to be a lot of numbers. You've really got your homework set out for you here. This one I know. That is Charles the First. That's a penny. There we go. Charles the First penny. Quite a nice, one. When you know what they are, they're collectible. Charles the First penny. Someone will want that. But when you don't know what it is, they lose a lot of value just by not being identified. Which is why it is a very good skill to know and to learn and to be able to identify your hammered coins. Civitas London, looking like a halfpenny. And would we say Edward III if it's a halfpenny? Are they very? Oh, look at that! That's big hair. Yeah. Again, I'll need to double check, and with the numbers, I can double check my own. If I ever do research, right? I think that is Edward III. And then I look at the comments, and people are saying, "Oh yeah, number whatever is Edward III, Edward III." Then I can say, right, we're all on the same page. Pretty sure it is Edward III. Here we go, another one. This one's a bit more damaged. Good a crown there, a later crown. Again, that's 1400s of some description, a description which I cannot add much more to. Got a little farthing there. Edward II has a rounder face, I believe, or Edward I. It could either be one or two, Edward I or second. Excuse me. Ooh, is that gun money? Hello. Oh no, it's Irish. Well, I'm not quite sure on the full. That could be gun money. That's an Irish coin, coppery looking, not actual silver. Jacob, so it's James the Second. It's going to be, isn't it? Potentially some gun money there, which I still need to do my full research and, excuse me, understand and learn more about gun money. Civitas London, Edward, halfpenny, I think, or is it a penny? I think it is a penny, actually. I just held some of the larger ones, and they feel a bit smaller now. And you can tell by the crown's not too badly worn, so possibly, and very probably, hopefully, maybe, the crown will let us know which Edward that is. Oh, there's one I know. How long are we going? 20 minutes of all this. Goodness. Right, as I say, definitely you got your homework here for you today. Watch a big video and then do all the research. Obviously, I joke. My homework is to do it all. You are just here to watch the video if you're enjoying it. That is a penny of James I with the rose and thistle. That is Tudor. Just checking my other camera's rolling. I think that's about as far as we're going to get. Is that an E? Maybe an Elizabeth. Looks like a 2p. Or, yeah, believe 2p. Another mangled Edward. We've got the slightly more oddly looking pellets though. Here's one that's not too bad, or is it? No, it is quite bad. Yeah, a lot of these are just metal detecting finds, so they're quite, battered up and all this. Right. That, all right, hang on. Lock in, back in. All right, what is this? Tudor, probably Elizabeth. In fact, you can see the eye in the face there. That is an Elizabeth the first 2p, I believe. That one dated 1572 3p. It is, with the Rose and Elizabeth there. 1572 dated one. As I say, we do love a dated hammered coin. We've got a rose farthing there. Civil War, Charles I, rose farthing. Very nice. Whoa, the wind. Oh dear. Hammered coin's worst enemy is the wind. Protect, protect, protect. Another Charles I penny there. You see just about see the one for Charles I. There we go. That one. Don't know why. I'm leading Edward II rather than Edward I there. Something about the reverse, but maybe I'm mad. Here is a Charles. I just lied to you, by the way. I made a whole video about this. The numbers behind Charles I are not one of the first. If you see a one, that's a penny. They've got two there, but this is a 2p of Charles I. There we go. And look at that. The triangle mint mark in circle. Used on a lot of coins. I've got a shilling of that actually, I think, or no, not £1/2, shilling, or some coin. Just about you can see it there. So the mint mark has survived. A lot of the rest of the coin has not, but we can tell what it is, which is good. Right, another one, the old classic. Who is that? That looks like a bit of a late, possibly Edward III, I would venture. And maybe a halfpenny. Three more. That one is just wrecked. This one is dropped. Dear me, going crazy at the end now. My brain's an overload of hammered coins mode. There we go. Probably Edward I, isn't it? Edward I penny, your safe bet. They made many millions of them. Quite a common one. Final coin. Edward again, crosslet. Look at that big, flat, long crown. You can research these crown types and they'll help you identify them. And there we go. Right. I do apologize. I'm losing my voice somewhat. What's that? It's got on the bit of debris from somewhere on that capsule, but we've got the picture there. In fact, let me get these out. We'll just take a little thumbnail picture as I sign off. So yes, thank you very much for watching indeed. Hopefully you enjoyed. There's some nice stuff in here. I hope the video wasn't brought down by the worst stuff. You got the quality pieces. Richard, Henry, Elizabeth, Edward III. Please, I need to make sure not to muddle those up. And then there is some, worse, if you will, pieces in here. But all is fun. Do you know what? It's gonna ruin this picture. We're here. I don't know. I'm talking to do the thumbnail. What else can I say? Oh, where's that gone? I'm causing absolute chaos here. Right. Don't lose anything. There we go. Hammered coins. Do you like them? Do you collect them? If you do collect them, get nicer ones, is my general advice. But they're all good fun to collect in any grade. You pay the fair price and you get a good coin for what you pay. But there we go. Not much more to say. Please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe. Please click the link. We've got a Whatnot. We do Whatnot auctions. Come to our shop in Salisbury. Gatehouse Antiques, right by the cathedral in Salisbury. Hammered coins available there from very nice ones. That's all I've got to say and promote and all this. So there, I will go and get a drink now, and then got some homework to do for these hammered coins. And any help you have would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. See you next time on Bits and Bobs. Bye for now.